Hi everybody, I'm Fab Fante. You're watching Fante's Inferno, the circle for fans of film and comic books. In this episode, we're going to revisit the time that Spider-Man crashed the set of Saturday Night Live and saved a TV samurai from a comic book samurai in one of the more random comic book crossovers of the 70s. I'm talking about Marvel Team Up number 74, featuring the Amazing Spider-Man and the Not Ready for Primetime players. Let's take a look. Back in 1978, the Bronze Age of comic books was in full swing. At Marvel, Jim Shooter was editor-in-chief. At NBC, Saturday Night Live was about to begin its fourth successful season, and even The Amazing Spider-Man had his own TV series, but that's a story for another day. Marvel writer Chris Claremont, who was also writing the X-Men at the time, had the idea to feature the cast of Saturday Night Live in an issue of Marvel Team Up featuring The Amazing Spider-Man. One look at this cover and you know you're either in for a fun story or God knows what. Those of us who grew up with Saturday Night Live in the 70s were big fans of the characters, particularly John Belushi's samurai persona in such classic sketches as Samurai Hotel, Samurai Delicatessen, Samurai Stockbroker, and of course, Samurai Night Fever. Claremont scripted the issue, which was edited and penciled by Bob Hall and inked by Marie Severin. The issue hit the spinner racks on July 25th, 1978.
The story begins with Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson in the middle of a not-so-great date on a rainy New York Saturday night, with the specter of the Silver Samurai looming in the background as a foreboding for what lies ahead. Peter scored the tickets to the night's episode of SNL, but he and MJ are running late and risk losing out on good seats. As MJ predicted, their lateness has banished them to the balcony. Adding insult to injury, in the stairway to the nosebleeds, Peter is shoved aside by a very large, impatient man, and his spider sense kicks in. Meanwhile, backstage, the cast gives John Belushi some good-natured ribbing as he struggles to remove a ring that mysteriously arrived from Japan in his fan mail that day. Producer Lorne Michaels gives them the 5-minute warning, and they're off to start the show as our pushy large man suits up with his crew to retrieve his ring that was mistakenly sent to Belushi. It's live from New York, and the night's host Stan Lee gives his monologue flanked by the cast. That's a coincidence. Once seated, MJ wastes no time flirting with the guy sitting next to her. As Stan gives his monologue, one of the Silver Samurai's goons takes out an unlucky page, and Peter subtly takes his leave to investigate. Over in the control room, the page has been tied up, and producer Lorne Michaels is held at gunpoint. But from the outside, things look normal to Spider-Man, and he makes his way backstage. Bill Murray tries to calm down an increasingly frazzled Belushi, who still can't get that ring off of his finger. As Belushi heads to his dressing room, Murray spots a fully armored Silver Samurai and his crew fanning out to find this mysterious ring. Murray takes out one of the samurai's thugs, disguising himself in his hat and coat to find out just what the heck is going on here.
Oh, in case you forgot, there's a show going on. Live.
With Bill Murray embedded with the goons, he misses his cue on the Weekend Update segment, and Gilda Radner takes over as her classic character Emily Latella. As she gives her misguided commentary on violence on television, the floor drops out from under her. Jane Curtin tries to improvise, and she's also dropped down into the arms of the goons. But before the Silver Samurai can search her for the ring, Spider-Man swings in, knocking the thugs out. Silver Samurai takes a couple of swings at Spidey with his katana, opens up a steam pipe, and storms off in search of the elusive ring. Gilda and Jane tackle one of the goons, only to find it's Bill Murray who fills them in on the Silver Samurai's plan. Spidey breaks it to them that the phones and security team are knocked out, and it's up to them to stop the Silver Samurai, all the while getting the show, now off the rails, back on some kind of track to keep the audience from panicking. Backstage, and unaware of the chaos outside of her dressing room, Lorraine Newman prepares for her sketch in a Ms. Marvel costume that's a little too convincing to the goons, and they pull back as quickly as they bust it in. She steps up to fulfill their expectations, and Spider-Man swings in for the knockout.
If they thought Lorraine Newman was an actual superhero, then the cast will use it to their advantage. Spidey and the backstage cast set a plan that will both take out the goons and protect the audience.
Garrett Morris, dressed as the Mighty Thor, shocks two of the goons out of commission with the help of Bill Murray and Gilda Radner's effective but very illegal electrical wiring. The Silver Samurai finally finds the costumed Belushi, and after calling him out on cultural appropriation, starts swinging for that ring. He chases Belushi on stage as Jane Curtin leads a clueless Stan Lee in an improvisational dance to keep the show going. Meanwhile, in the control room, Dan Aykroyd and Lorraine Newman take out the armed thugs with fire extinguishers. Belushi briefly holds his own with his prop sword, but before the Silver Samurai can take him out with his own energy sword, Spider-Man swings in. The Silver Samurai throws his energy sword at Spidey's webbing, and now with a clear opening, Belushi takes a swing, but of course he's no match for the Silver Samurai. A strike from Spider-Man jars the ring loose from Belushi's finger and into the Samurai's fist. Victorious, he slips on the ring and disappears. The cast joins Stan on stage for the show's closing monologue. Afterwards, while Peter tries to make sense of MJ's story about the creep next to her, Belushi sits at the bar with Garrett Morris. It turns out the ring was meant for delivery at the 30 Rockefeller Center office of Belushi, but the rain smudged the label and it ended up in the mail to Belushi.
This is the type of story that would divide readers from the Bronze Age and today. On one hand, it's a fun, light-hearted, done-in-one story that's a refreshing read. But on the other hand, it's over the top and a little uneven by having to incorporate every cast member into the 18 pages. It's a fun story, but probably better suited for Spidey Super Stories versus Marvel Team-Up. But one of the reasons I reviewed this particular issue is because it seems to have a soft spot among Bronze Age readers, myself included. Maybe it's the unlikely crossover with the beloved cast of Saturday Night Live, combined with a sense of nostalgia for an era where comics just seemed to be more fun. Regardless, I would still recommend this issue as a welcome change of pace or even a curiosity piece to your regular reading. Unfortunately, it's not currently available in reprints or on Comixology due to licensing issues, but copies can still be found on eBay for prices ranging from under $5 to over $20. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and check out my website, fantesinferno.com, where you'll see other interviews and reviews from previous years. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the Inferno.